Okay, so today we'll be talking about how to optimize your strategy regarding the logistic preparation for the peak season, which is the big sales season that is coming up. Right, some important notice. Okay, so for those who are new to my live webinar, do note that we do have recording in our official YouTube playlist. However, there is a Q&A segment at the end, which I will save it exclusively for the live attendees only, just to be fair for every one of you here who is spending your time with me. So that portion won't be uploaded, all right? But the content itself, you can review it in our YouTube playlist. So if you have any question, let me know in the Q&A box. I would have extracted all of your question this morning that you share with me during the registration steps. So if you just registered today, maybe a few hours ago, I may have missed out those questions. So I would really appreciate if you don't mind just retyping it into the question box if I miss out your question later. Last but not least, always refer to the latest update in our online resources such as Seller University and Seller Central Help if you are watching these videos a few months or weeks down the road, especially things like policy, pricings, or promotion stuff, right? So those things might have changed by the time you watch the videos. Right, quick shout out to the team I'm in, Seller Education team. So we provide free education and training through several learning programs that you see here, Seller University, and the one you're attending right now, the Amazon Live webinar. All right, first thing first, I'm going to share what are the so-called the preparations for the major promotions. So over here, what we meant by promotion is the key events. Right, so this is a timetable for your reference. All right, referencing to last year's key events such as Prime Day and BFCM. So BFCM is Black Friday, Cyber Monday, in case you're wondering. Right, so you can see these are the things that you could do before, during, and after the promotions. Right, this is an overview. I won't touch into too details of it, but do take note of the time period, the months. All right, so you can see the months may or may not be the same due to the fact that the Prime Day dates are usually not known only a month before the actual date. So you might need to shift the months accordingly. But for Black Friday, Cyber Monday is fairly, I would say it's fairly the same because those dates are publicly available and doesn't change a lot year over year. All right, so to quickly show you. Right, so before the promotion, these are ideally the things that you should have done before the big day. Prep your product, create a shipment, packing and shipping. All right. So the first part regarding product prep is if you are developing or creating a product yourself, you might need to spend more time on the product prep. Right. If not, these three parts before the promotions, before the big day, assuming you already know what product you're going to sell, these three parts should actually be done in a way like concurrently already. Right, prepping, creating shipment, and then packing and shipping. Right, should be done at the same time already in the sense that your product is prepped by your supplier, and then you are the one that should be creating the shipment, getting those details from your supplier, and then they will also be the one packing and shipping for you. Right. Right, and then there are slightly things before as well, like after you do all that part, this is the thing that you should also be looking at already by now. The first mile logistics, meaning that what kind of the logistic option that you have to send your product over to the Amazon Fulfillment Center, since most likely most of you here will be utilizing FBA. All right. And then for the FBA inbounding, which also I will share later, there is usually typically a date that you need to follow closely to, meaning that you should target your inventory to reach the date before the big day. Right, so the cutoff date will ensure that your product will be available during the Prime Day itself. So that is something you want to be aware of. Right, and then also the typical inventory management part. All right. So during the promotion itself, during the big day, you can also start to think of if you, or rather, have you have any plans to expand to other stores? If not, that's fine. All right, and then what you need to do after the promotions, which is after the Prime Day, your after sales service, such as running like other promotions, right, to enjoy the so-called the halo effects that might have after the big day. All right, you can clean out your excess inventory. Right, see if I can zoom in for you. Okay. Right, this is typically the things that you should be doing, all right, like a few months before. So this means that 4 months before Prime Day, etc. Right, so if you are very new to this Prime Day, not to worry. It takes, sometimes to get yourself familiarized if this is the first Prime Day that you are participating, right? But at least you can be prepared for the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, which is likely in the November period. All right. All right. So some of it you see there will be things like deal submission, etc. So those info are also in the email. If you check your emails or you check in regularly to your seller central, it will be mentioned inside when you have deals that's eligible. So I will also encourage you to go on and see if there's any eligible ASIN that you can participate in those events. So at the very first, you want to think of how you can send your inventory over, right? So you can see this is the supply chain by Amazon, right? So supply chain by Amazon is an integrated automated supply chain solution covering all sales channel. As you see, that it integrates like the FBA inside, all right, uses the Amazon robust global distribution and transportation infrastructure, etc., to help you with the international logistics and clearance, etc. So you will be able to fulfill multi-channel across your different sales channel besides Amazon. All right. So this is what I want to share. All right, let me grab a pen here. All right, this is the first mile you see here. All right, and then this is the bulk storage part. Well, these are the things you can take advantage of. AWD, Amazon Warehousing and Distribution. And then this is the FBA. So if you are using FBA, in this scenario, right, you can utilize either Amazon Global Logistics, right, or Amazon Cross-Border Shipping Partner Program send to send your product over to either the Amazon Warehousing and Distribution, right, or the FBA fulfillment center. All right, so I would strongly suggest you to go with the AWD first if your product is eligible, so that you can further reduce the cost, right? If not, if your product is not eligible, if you have to send indirect to FBA, you might incur the inbounding fee as well for your products. All right. Right, this is just an example that if you are shipping in bulk to AWD, Amazon Warehousing Distribution Center, you can ensure you have sufficient inventory during the peak season. Right, so in that case, you will always be in stock. There will not be any impact on your stock level if you are using AWD. You will ensure that your product are auto replenish to the FBA fulfillment center. All right. So in the past, if you are using your own logistic option, you might need to take note of when you need to replenish your product. All right, if you are unsure, you can use FBA revenue calculator to help you do some calculations. So some of the new fees that was introduced as is also being incorporated in the calculator as well already. So that will give you a better understanding. Things like the inbound placement fee, etc. All right, so for the first mile logistic option, such as AGL, if you're not aware, so if you are sourcing from China, you can actually use AGL to help you ship your product over to the AWD, Amazon Warehousing Distribution Center, or send it to FBA as well. All right. And the other one is the cross-border shipping partner program, SEN. All right, this can be used as well, but for now, this is from China to the US store. So if you are producing or procuring, your inventory from China, you can use this service as well. Right, so let's focus on the US dollar. All right, the rest is for your reference. Right, so most of you will be selling into the US dollar. Right, so this is the typical estimates. Right, if you are using the first mile logistic to send to US from your China supplier. Right, so do take note of it. By sea is usually longer. Right, it may take probably longer than that. Yeah. Okay, some inbounding preparation. There's a lot of words over here, but I will just focus on the key info that I think is necessary for you to know. Right, so if you are a new seller, this may not affect you too much, but it's always good to check. So every seller would have the capacity limit and the requirement to send in your products. All right, so you can look at the capacity monitor on how much capacity limit that you have, right, before sending in your product. Right, there is a volume limit, etc. Then again, if you are new, I also would not suggest you to send in so much inventory into the FBA warehouse. All right. So this is another important indicator. Now again, this is important for you if you have existing sales already, because if there's no sales, this data won't be accurate and won't be populated for you, because this will depends on the historical sales data. Right, so there is something called the weeks of cover. Right, this is an indicator of your inventory health. So we always try to keep it between 4 to 8, right? Meaning that your inventory will be able to last 4 to 8 weeks of sales. Right, so anything below that, you might have a risk of the shortage, all right, or anything more than that, you might be overstock, right? So this is just to share that there is a option for you to request for additional capacity. Right, in the event that you do really need extra capacity, there is an option for you to request, and there will be a fee in order to so-called get the additional space for you to send in your inventory. All right, second thing to focus when you are inbounding, all right, always make sure that you all right. Either, if your listing is matching an existing listing, right, you need to make sure that everything is matching. All right. If you are creating your own new listing because you're selling something that isn't is new already, is not in the existing catalog, then you also want to make sure that all the important ASIN attributes, product information are filled in completely accurately and updated. Right, because that is required when you are printing the label, the shipping label, etc. Right, because that will include things like the ASIN, your barcode, etc. All right, so this information is important. All right, if you're matching something, make sure that you are matching to the right product. Our next one you need to be aware of is to make sure you prepare your product well. All right, there are some information here I want to share. All right, the packaging. Right. So something you need to note of, always package it correctly. All right, if it's a fragile item, it needs to be labeled and secure. And then for products, you need to have a packaging like a transparent packaging. You need to have the right label, a suffocation warning label. right, must be included. All right. Okay, so you will encounter most of these if you are going to pack it yourself, but most of the time, again, since we are from the Southeast Asia region, I will usually recommend the seller to check with your supplier, right? Whether are they familiar with the packaging. So most of them are pretty much familiar already if you are using the supplier who has experience in and sending FBA's inventory into the FBA, they would have know what to be aware of. All right, so these are some examples. If it's not packed correctly, these are the danger, or rather, these are the issue that you may face, right? And then it will cause way a lot more time in order for it to be received in the fulfillment center, or it might not even be received because it might be too damaged to be able to tell whose product it is, right? Right, again, this is to show you which kind of wrapping that you should not use and which one you should use, all right? You can take note of these. Um, Sorry, let me just zoom in again. Yep. Take note of this one on the right hand side. The packaging material not recommended. All right. And also this one, for heavy object, it needs to be labeled accurately as well. Right, the other step is to properly label your product. Right, so when you create your shipment plan, there will be an option for you to download the label. Right, at this point, you need to make sure that, again, if your product needs a manufacturing code, etc., it would have been asked from you during the listing process. All right, so irregardless, so when you create a shipping plan, there will be an option for you to print the Amazon, so-called the Amazon barcode, right? It looks something like the one below, right? So Amazon barcode are the one provided by Amazon to identify and track the products, right? So I would say it's always recommend to still print out the Amazon barcode, even though that you might have the manufacturer barcode already, right? And then you can see there are some products here that says um, the manufacturer barcode cannot be used in place of Amazon barcode for this product category. All right, if you're selling in this category, you need to use the Amazon barcode, which is the one that is provided to you when you create your shipment plan, etc. Right, things to take note of is to avoid putting the wrong label. All right, and then yeah, do not label it wrongly, or do not use the paper that is easily smudged. All right, so you can see these are the mislabeling example. All right, if you did not put any label, if you miss out the label, there will be no way for the Amazon warehouse associate to identify the product. All right, and then wrong label. All right, if your label is for a water bottle, if the actual item is obviously a different item, it will be rejected as well. Right, and also you covered too much of a scotch tape on the labeling such that it's not scannable. All right. Okay, this is also important because sometimes we do hear that some seller actually put the label across the seam, right, the part where the box is being sealed. Right, there will be times that your boxes, etc., might be open up for random checks, etc., at the custom, all right, and then they might seal it back, All right. So because of that, right, do not put any of the labels at those seams area, right? Because if they were to open it up and then seal it back, the label may lost the original info or may not eventually be scannable. So always put it at the side where there's no covering of any other scotch tape that it won't be tear off easily due to the check, etc. All right, the rest are pretty straightforward, all right? Make sure your box content is what you are intending to sell is accurate, all right? Um, Let me see what is other important info. Okay, the tracking information is important. All right, if you are the one that if your supplier provide you the tracking info, you will need to make sure that it's input into the tracking fields correctly, right? So that in the system, in the Seller Central itself, it will be able to track your shipping status. Okay. Right, so this is the inbound preparation. Right, so in summary, there are definitely things you need to be aware of, things like how to pack. Right, there'll be some videos online as well. Right, but if you are somebody who leverages like the supplier from other countries such as China, because I also source from China myself, so most of them actually knows the process. So I actually don't focus a lot on this area. I'll make sure that my supplier is somebody who has experience in doing FBA inbounding, and I will tell them this is what I need. Please, pack it properly, etc., so that you can, this is something that you can get it off your mind. You don't have to spend too much time on it, if somebody is doing it for you because they are doing it, every day since they are doing the supplying inventory to many other, sellers, etc., right? So if that's the case, it's best. But if you are going to pack it yourself because you are the one producing it at your home country, etc., then you definitely need to be aware of all this information that I shared earlier on. All right, making sure your product packaging aligns with the requirements that is set out by Amazon. Key things I always see seller miss out will be the transparent like poly bag, right? There's no note to say that the danger of the poly bag, etc. So that might have issues. So always make sure your poly bag has a printout that says something like this bag is not a toy, blah blah blah, warning, that kind of information. Right. So those information you can actually find online as well. Just do a search and you can use the general text to put it there. Okay, next one I'm going to touch on is the some frequently asked question regarding inventory. Yeah. All right. So there is a capacity limit as I mentioned earlier on, but typically people want to know when is it being updated. All right. So the capacity limit is updated every third Monday of the month. All right. So when you send in your shipping on your shipping status, you will see something called in transit. Right. So the question is, does the in transit inventory include shipment they are created but not yet dispatched? All right. So in transit inventory will refer to your inventory. They are either pending delivery, all right, including item listed as working ship or in transit, etc. All right. So note that every shipment that has been created will be counted towards your total capacity usage. All right. So do note that if you might have created different shipping plan, etc., but you did not plan to ship, or you want to make sure that you close them, delete those shipping plans, etc., in the send to Amazon workflow. If not, it will be taken into your inventory capacity limit. All right. So in the inventory, there is an option for you to look at the sales forecast. All right. So Amazon do a sales forecast based on your past sales data as well. right? So some seller may wondering is this depending on the seasonal trend based on the forecast? Right, so in summary, the forecasts are based on historical sales data. It does take into seasonality, right, which will in turn affect the IPI score that will in turn impact how much volume you're going to send in, right? A lot of other info like historical sales volume, forecast, etc. All right. So these are all taken into account. But I would say that don't need to worry too much. Right, most of the seller likely will not have this limit issue yet. Yeah, because I would not suggest new seller to send in, a lot of inventory in. All right. And again, if you started small and then gradually you will know that how much that you need to actually send in, because you don't want to overstock up as well, right? This is regarding requesting for additional storage limit. All right. So can you request additional storage for the same current month? So the short answer is you can't. Right, you're only allowed to request additional storage capacity for the next 3 months. All right. And then there is a so-called a stop date, right, that you can make a request. You update on the third Monday of the current month. Well, there's some example here. Okay, if the third Monday in March falls on the 20th, you can request additional capacity for April and May, all right, up to this date. All right, so there are some logics here. You can take a quick read. Right, there's something called overage fee as well. All right. So overage fee, if I remember correctly, if your products inventory are in the fulfillment center for more than 180 days, there'll be a overage overage fees. Right, and then if it gets more than 180 days, like up to 360 days, it might incur the what we call the long storage fee. Right, which is why, do not try to send in a lot into the fulfillment center. Right, if you really do want to bulk store your inventory, you should utilize AWD, Amazon Warehousing and Distribution. Right, that is for a longer term storage because the storage fee is much lower there. Right, whereas for the supplies, for the inventory that you're going to send into fulfillment center, that is not meant to be a long storage. So try to target to send in the products that can be sold off in about less than 3 months if possible. Yeah, so no point stocking up in fulfillment center because it's going to cost you all these kind of fees. All right, another question is the overage fee charged based on inventories overage at the end of the month? All right, so if I clear all my excess inventory a few days before the end of the month, will this excess inventory be considered? All right. All right, so this is the how the calculation is done. All right, so it doesn't go by the end of the, whether or not at the end of the month do you still have the stocks in the fulfillment center. All right, so the storage overage fee will be charged if your existing inventory exceed your storage limit for any storage type on any day within a given month. All right, so the overage fee is based on how many days your storage limit are exceeded. All right, even if you later reduce your inventory level back within the assigned storage limit for that month, you will still be required to pay the fee. Okay. When will I be charged? Okay, this one is straightforward. So you'll be charged the applicable fees after the end of the month in which the fee were incurred. Okay, so for example, you exceeded your storage limit, for example, on July 1st, all right, and remove inventory to a level below your limit by July 5th. So on August 1st, you will still be charged based on the 4 days that you were over the limit. All right. Okay, so next part I'm gonna talk about how you can use AWD to help you out during this peak period. All right, so this is the the supply chain by Amazon logo that I mean the graph that I shared earlier on. All right, so you can see so what AWD does is provide integrated upstream bulk inventory storage and automatically replenish your inventory in FBA fulfillment center. Right, this actually makes it more cost effective for your even your non-Amazon order. You can also store it here because it support multi-channel fulfillment as well. You can use the same inventory in the AWD to fulfill your order across your other sales channel. Right, so how does it work? On your first mile logistic, you can either use your own logistic option or you can use AGL or Amazon cross-border shipping partner, right, to send your products right from your factory to the AWD distribution center, right? And then from AWD, it will be automatically sent to the FBA fulfillment center. And also, if you use the multi-channel distribution, you can also send it to your other warehouses. So there is a promotion coming on now from the 1st of May to July 31st. Right, for the first time, if you're going to use the AWD service, sending your inventory to AWD distribution center, you will enjoy the waiver of the AWD storage fee for all shipment in the second month. Right. Or these are the key benefits, right? There is a auto replenishment feature using the data science model at backend, right? Amazon will be able to know when you will be required to replenish your stock in the FBA fulfillment center, and then it will automatically send the product from AWD to the fulfillment center so that your product will always be in stock, right? And your customer will be able to buy your products, right? And then it is a low cost storage because it will be much more cheaper than you were to store it in FBA fulfillment center, right? Next is during regarding the speed and reliability. Right now, you will only have a single inbounding point, and then AWD will take care of the distribution to the other warehouses, be it the fulfillment center or your own warehouses elsewhere on your other sales channel. And in the system itself is transparent because you can see the tracking, you can check your inventory and the replenishment status on the Seller Central. But lastly, it helps a lot if you have other fulfillment channel that you use beside Amazon, where you can also store your bulk inventory here and then use it to fulfill your products across the other channel. Right, these are some of the key points to share with you on how does it actually help to reduce costs. Right, on top of the following that I mentioned, there is no additional cost during the holiday seasons. All right, so using AWD also help to waive many other FBA fees, such as the inbound placement fee. Right, you'll be waived if you are using AWD. All right, so there is a fee, what we call the low inventory fee. It will also be waived if you are using AWD auto replenishment feature. All right. Similarly, regarding the storage utilization surcharge, it will also be waived, all right? And also the overage fee, right? Because you are using the auto replenishment, you will not be, or rather, you will not have that many stock up into the fulfillment center. Rather, you will be auto replenished from AWD to your FBA fulfillment center, so you will not incur the overage fee, and it will be waived as well. Okay, so I will talk a little bit more tomorrow regarding AWD. So do sign up if you have not signed up. All right, so tomorrow I have a webinar regarding Amazon warehousing and distribution, which I will go through a few use cases as well as the rate card for using AWD to give you a better idea. All right, some quick guide I would think that it might be important for you to know. All right, if you're going to some guide to drive more visit to your Amazon listing, or if you're thinking to run Amazon ads, you can read these quick one-pager guides just to share with you. All right, so these are some of the important dates. So the PED, the Prime Exclusive Discount window, has already open. If you log into your Seller Central and you go under advertising option and look under Prime Exclusive Discount, you are able to submit the discount that will run during the Prime Day already. So remember to select the checkbox when you submit any kind of exclusive discount for Prime Day. All right. And most importantly, the FBA inbound date, right? The date for the FBA inbound cutoff for Prime Day is 20th June, right? So the Prime Day date is not known yet as far as I'm aware, but the cutoff date is to make sure that if your product needs to be, let's say if you're going to run any promotions during the Prime Day, you want to ensure that your inventory reaches the Amazon either AWD or fulfillment center by the 20th June, right? So that there'll be sufficient time for you to check in before the Prime Day, and then it will be available during the Prime Day. All right. Do take note that this is the US timing. All right, 20th June. Right. So there are guide that you can download, the Prime Day 2024 scheduling guide. All right, it's under the microsite on the QR code here. Right, we have created a new microsite for Prime Day this year. Okay, these are other webinars that I have in this month, right? 5 and 6. So topics regarding AWD and also for the brand owner on the 6th of June, as well as the ads webinar on the end of the month. All right, so do take note of this. All right, now I'm gonna go through the live Q&A.